All right. Well, thanks for having me, Peter, and thanks for everybody for joining. Give you a bit of a background on myself and Alta West. I've been with Alta West just since March, so I'm pretty much a newbie in the broker world. I was with Home Equity Bank for 2 years prior to joining Alta West. So I was doing the chip reverse mortgage for a little bit, but prior to that, I was with CIBC for 18 years, and so I have a banking background, like I'm sure most of you guys do as well. And so I'll be honest with you guys, it's so much easier and better to work on the broker side of this. You guys don't need a lot of hand holding. It's pretty easy. And as far as, the relationships, and I think that's what it's all about. And I think, I'll reflect a little bit on that, but also to tell you about Alta West as well. We've been around for 31 years. We're a private MIC. And it's a long time for a private MIC. And as you guys know, there's a lot of private MICs recently that are suspending funding. They're running out of money. One thing I want you all to know is that Alta West has plenty of money. You're never going to get a phone call in the 11th hour saying that, sorry, we can't fund your deal type of thing because we, run out of funds. So one thing with us is that you can count on that the deals are going to get funded. And also too, it's, well, actually, I'm just going to share my screen with you. I'm going to show you this. Let me get that.
Okay, I've got it now.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. All right. Perfect. Now we can go to the next screen. All right. So brief introduction, as I mentioned. We have Alta West as a private MIC, and we actually have two funds that are part of our portfolio. And we're among one of the largest premier alternative lenders in BC as well. We lend in BC, Alberta, and Ontario. And as I mentioned, we've been around for a little over 30 years, 31 years to be exact. And not only that, but we provide investments obviously for our clients and for you too. So this is just real quick. If anybody's looking for an investment or know people that are looking for an investment, Alta West is a great alternative for getting into the real estate business without having to be a landlord. Currently, we are paying, or the yield is currently a little over 8%. So very nice return. So again, anybody that's looking to diversify their portfolio, it's another option for you guys. We're also involved in a lot of philanthropic initiatives as well in Canada and abroad. As a matter of fact, a few of us are going to El Salvador this Saturday and build homes for the locals there. So we really take pride in that and really want to provide that service to locals and people abroad. And next. All right, so we have two suites of products, and those two are the Express and our Flex. Now, our Express products are really ideal for those clients that are owner-occupied properties, first mortgages only. Our Flex products are, again, tailored for clients that are maybe for business for self, new to Canada, or have damaged credit. And I'll go over the differences in both products here in a minute, but we have two suites of products for your clients. Next. And, you guys have been in the business for a while. I don't really have to tell you, the reasons why clients are turned down from lenders. We all know that credit score is a huge issue, not enough documentation, and of course, occupation are the three main reasons why our clients are turned down and the reasons why they go to a B lender or even private. So nothing new really for
Excuse me, Tony.
Yes.
Tony, it's Deb. I thought I'd like to remind you that we do have newer brokers on the call, even though some of us are old.
Okay.
We do have a few newer brokers. So when you talk yield and everything like that, they haven't been taught that yet. So that might be a little bit too much. And, why use a B lender? So you might want to tone it that it's more toward like encompass us all, not just us old folks.
Sure thing. No, so
thank you.
Thanks, Deb. No problem, Deb. Thanks. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of reasons why clients are turned down, but credit score, as we know, has been a real issue, especially during COVID. Actually, all three reasons have really come to light during COVID. Credit scores have been damaged because of not enough employment, perhaps, and so clients have been really relying on their credit and really racking up a lot of debt. Documentation, again, maybe our clients are not have been suspended because of COVID, right? And so they don't have that history to back them up. And of course, occupation is always an issue for our clients, maybe not being on the job long enough or not being able, again, to come up with those proper documents to confirm income. And next. And what's important to you as a broker? One thing that's missing from here that I think is the most important thing is, funding. We obviously, as a broker, you want to make sure your deals are funded. But of course, there's 4 main components of that as well. First is speed. One thing that I will want to tell all of you is that no matter what the answer is, you're always going to have an answer the moment you call me or when you send me an email. I try to make it a point to pick up the phone always if I'm free. So you'll always have an answer and you always have somebody to be back to you really quick. And I think that's the biggest thing is the speed. And I know for you as a broker how important that is. Even if it's an answer, if it's a no, at least this way you can know you can move on and try to find that answer and that solution for your client. Flexibility is also a huge piece for us. And what's really important for us and for you as a broker too is that, we really try to work outside the black and white areas. We really try to work in the gray areas if we can. So we have, mortgage options for you, but also, like I say, we don't want to fit into a black and white box. We really want to see if we can make the deal work for you and try to be as flexible as we can whenever the situation comes up. Underwriting, one thing that we're really proud of too, we can fund deals within 48 hours for you guys. I actually funded a deal within 24 hours about a month ago. That was pretty crazy, but we're actually able to do it. If you give me 2 days, we can do it for you. So that's really nice that we can, really get your deals funded. If you're in a time crunch, that's not a problem for us. And as I mentioned, transparency is huge. We're open from the first phone call until the deal funds. So you're always going to be in the loop and know what's going on and be included in the conversation. So you'll never be outside of the loop on that. And the next one. A few did you knows. You may not know this, but most of the time we don't need an appraisal if the loan to value is under 40%, which is nice. And which is also very nice is that Alta West considers appraised value based on new construction purchases. So what this means is that you may have a new construction that was started built maybe a year or 2 years ago. And so what we do is, the purchase price 2 years ago, unfortunately, maybe a little bit higher now with our current market, but right now we use 75% of the appraisal. So whatever the appraisal comes in at, we're looking at 75% of that value. The nice thing too is that we can use at Alta West, we can do inter alia or blanket mortgages as well to get that loan to value that you're looking for. So if clients have other properties that we can use as security, we can do that for you as well. So that's always a nice option, just to know that, and if in case we can't get you the loan to value initially, we can tag another property and get that desired loan to value for you. And the next one.
So you got to tell us, do you have a dog?
No, my neighbor does. Give me 1 second, okay? Give me 1 second.
That was precious.
Sorry, guys.
Here I thought you had a dog and we had to get into dogs and everything.
Well, you know what? I should back up. I do have a dog. That's not my dog barking crazy. My dog's sleeping. I have a bulldog, and that's all she does is sleep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
okay.
Anyway.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Sorry. So as I mentioned, yeah, you can use inter alia for those properties that need it. And as I also said too, we can fund deals within 2 days, within 48 hours. That's not a problem. For those clients that are, may need interest only payments, we have that option. We can also amortize up to 35 years as well. So you can let your clients know that, and I have that option to do. We also obviously have investment and rental properties. So we do a ton of those types of mortgages for investment reasons or refis as well, obviously, but rental properties is a big part of our business, so that's not a problem. The next one is talking about, next few slides are just talking about a few different deal scenarios. And for those of you that have been in the business for a long time, you've seen a ton of different scenarios of why clients are looking for funding. And for those of you that are maybe a little bit newer, you're going to start to see a lot of these different scenarios really quick. And the first one is really a situation that we've seen quite a lot, especially during COVID. a lot of divorces, right? I mean, we've seen the divorce rate just spike during the last 3 years. And unfortunately, we've had a lot of situations where clients come to us needing financing that had been through divorce recently. And as we all know, going through a divorce is never easy. It takes a lot of time, costs a lot of money. And unfortunately, a lot of the times, clients, credit is damaged, they lose income during that time as well. And so we've seen a lot of that. And the nice thing is, one thing that I want to tell you guys too is with Alta West is that we require very little documentation. So it's going to make it a lot easier for you as a broker, not having to go back and forth to your client, requesting a lot of documents just to get a deal funded. So this is going to make it a lot smoother for you and smoother for your clients too. So if you do have clients that are in a divorce situation, where their credit's been damaged, maybe their income's really taken a hit, let me know. And because like I say, we really work around that. And because we're equity lenders, we really focus more on the property itself as opposed to the client. So it makes it a little bit easier. And the second deal scenario, a very similar situation when we have a lot of clients, especially here in the lower mainland, who purchase pre-sales. And so now that they're, coming up, almost being completed, we're seeing a lot of situations where builders have putting pressure on clients to come up with remaining funds. And of course, that's going to be an issue, especially when you're dealing with, those A lenders. And especially even now we're seeing even the B lenders, it's getting tighter, especially with the deadlines. So again, if this comes back to, if you have a short deadline, if you have somebody that really needs funds really quick, we can help you accommodate that and get them the funding that they need. I'm starting to see more and more requests for this type of mortgage, because we're starting to see more of these pre-builds that are being completed now. And unfortunately, the values have come in a little bit less, as you all know, that the appraisals are coming in a little bit lower than previous. So again, if you have a situation like this where you need a funding really quick, let me know and we can get this done for you. And the third scenario, again, this one's really perfect. And this one we see quite a bit. And this is for business for self clients. And as I mentioned earlier, we really don't need a lot of documents. Most of the time, all we need is a signed declaration from the client, just stating how much income they need. I'm not going to ask you to see bank statements, not going to ask you to see financials, anything like that. So it's going to make it a lot easier for you as a broker, again, having not to go back and forth with your clients to, collect a bunch of documents. So again, this is going to be really easy for you. A simple declaration is all that's needed, and we can get the mortgage funded pretty quickly for you. So all those business for self, those are really right in our sweet spot as well. All right, express mortgages. Now, these are our express mortgages for our owner-occupied only. So this is where clients can really benefit from if a couple things. They qualify if they have a good Beacon score, as you can see, 620 or better. And as long as their income is there where they can, where TDS comes in at 60% or better, then they would qualify for our express mortgages. Now, again, this is owner-occupied only. And we do have I'll get into this in a little bit in a couple more slides. We do have a promotion right now that I'll speak to, but these are our current rates right now. Express mortgages, our fees are 50-50 split. So it's always a 3% fee split with you guys, 1.5 for us and 1.5 for you. The nice thing is too, that you always have the option as a broker, if you wanted, with your fee, you can always buy down the rate if you wanted to. So if you have some clients that are maybe fee sensitive, you can take, say, 50 beeps from your rate and then buy down the rate, and vice versa. So if they're maybe fee sensitive, you can increase the rate by 50 beeps, lower the fee by 50, and make it a little bit easier. So you can play with that a little bit, depending on how your clients really want it structured too. Okay, and then the next one. And feel free to just to shout out if you have any questions. Just feel free to shout out and anytime. It's no problem. Express mortgages, again, terms and conditions of this. Income verification, as I mentioned, guys, is super easy. Just a declaration is typically all we need. TDS has to come in at 60% or better. We do mortgages up to 1.5 million. I have seen mortgages at 2 million. So if you do have some mortgages that are quite high, we can look at doing that as an exception. There would be a premium on the fee, but we can look at higher amounts if you need it. And again, with the express mortgages, the occupancy type has to be owner occupied. We can do rentals up to 4-plex under one title with 1 unit owner occupied. So max amortization, as I mentioned, is up to 35 years and or interest only payments if you guys need it. And you can see the prepayment penalties if they need to break it within the first year, and if they break it within year 2, you can see the 4 months interest charge there. We do have the open terms as well. We would have to add 1% to our fee for an open, but I'm going to speak to that on our promotion here in a little bit. Now, our flex mortgages, these are really designed, as I said, for those clients that can't qualify for a express mortgage. Maybe they would, be better suited for a flex mortgage. And this is for clients that, again, have maybe damaged credit, business for self, or that can't qualify on the TDS. This is their option. Now, we do have between 60 and 75. Typically we would lend up to 85%, and before up to July we were lending up to 85%. And in this crazy market, we had to scale back to 75. So hopefully at some point in the next few, probably 6 to 12 months, we'll be back up to 80, 85. But right now we're capped at 75%. You can see too, beacon scores really don't come into play too much. Income verification, not at all. And TDS really not a issue as well. So this is, you can rest assured that you're going to get approved under the flex for sure. Just depending on obviously where the property is as well will make a big difference. Okay, and the next one. Okay, and this is the new promotion that I was speaking about, the new fall promotion. And right now, this is for owner-occupied residents only. And it's the same qualifications as our express. So the beacon score has to be 620 or better. And again, they have to debt service at 60% or better. But at $799 and 2% commitment fee is a pretty nice rate right now. And you can start to see too, between the privates and even the B lenders, that the spread is very little. There's not much difference between private and B lending anymore. And so especially with this promotion, it's a good opportunity for you guys. There is no timeline on this one when it's going to expire. I think we're going to have this pretty much all fall and probably going into the winter. Really depends on what happens with the next rate increase from the Bank of Canada, but expect to see this for the duration of the fall and perhaps the winter as well.
I just have a quick question. I'm seeing in here that it's only available in Vancouver, Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton, Ottawa, and London. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, GVA areas, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's one thing too, just to highlight too. We do, I think I mentioned this, we do lend in Ontario, BC, and Alberta too. So yes, that's where it's at. Okay, and the next one. Broker loyalty program. One thing that I'm really proud of too is a private MIC. I think we're the only private MIC that actually offers this type of program. This is a nice way to say thank you for your business, give you some extra cash. And this is a quarterly bonus that we give out to all of our brokers. And all it takes is 2 deals per quarter to qualify. So this is a great way to earn extra cash and for us to thank you for your business. And this isn't a volume base. So that, like I said, all it takes is 2 deals and then you're automatically qualified to get a cash reward at the end of each quarter. You can see by this example, a great way to earn extra money. We had a broker in Toronto just last month. He funded 9 deals with us, totaling just over $5 million, and we were able to give him a check for $7,500. So nice little bonus check, hopefully for you guys, and you can take a nice little vacay on us. And again, just to say thank you, and we appreciate your business. And there is also, in the next one, we actually also have an annual reward as well. So if you fund 12 or more deals in a calendar year, you get an extra $1,500 cash bonus as well. So everybody likes money. This is a great way to do it and get paid. And like I said, just a nice way for us to say thanks for all the business. And that's really about it. And this is all the BDMs. As you can see, my ugly mug there here for BC. So if you guys ever have any properties in BC only, I'm your guy. But we also, as I mentioned, cover off Ontario and Alberta. So if you have properties in either of those provinces, they can help you. But you can always give me a call and I can put you together with the correct BDM and get you guys going. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Can
Any
I ask a
questions?
question? Yeah.
Mhm.
Your loyalty program, is that for everybody in White House or is it individual brokers?
Individual brokers.
Okay. My next question is, I work mostly in the interior, kind of rural, so Salmon Arm, those type of places. Do you go
Mhm.
that far?
We do actually, Kathy. Yeah, we do go up to Salmon Arm. Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, and it's and Kathy, I'll be honest too. It's getting a little tighter too, especially with those rural properties, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I can't guarantee that you're going to get 75% or even 65, right, depending on where the property is right now. But yes, we do lend in those areas for sure.
Okay.
But just let me know if you have something.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. You're going to
No,
give
thank
us
you.
your email address and stuff at the end?
For sure. Yeah, I'll make sure that, I'll make sure. Yeah, exactly. I have all of your emails as well. So I'll send out information that you have my contact and all of our information that we covered today too.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
No problem.
Do you do the Prince George region?
We do Prince George as well, Jane. Yep.
How rural, when you guys talk rural, are you talking 2 acres, 40 clicks from town, or do you offer on 20 acres or?
Yeah, acreage, we're kind of, especially right now, we're kind of limited on acreage. I would say 2 acres would be what we would look at, max right now.
For
Typically,
value or consider it all?
oh,
Or
I'm sorry.
I just wanted to know if you meant for the value, like if you had 20-acre property, would you do it and just value on 2 acres in the home?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
So just wanted to kind of follow up on Kathy's point and Jane's as well. In terms of kind of lending area, it sounds like you will lend in most kind of urban and small urban places throughout BC. Are the loan to values reduced, or are there any other requirements when we're looking at our particular area?
Yeah, no, it's a great question too. And typically those loan to values are reduced depending on how small of the town is, right? I mean, 65% is in the good market, we would go up to 65%. Some small markets even up to 75. Right now, I would say, Pete, it's best just to inquire with me to see what we are doing right now, because it changes so much, right? I mean, how much has changed from July to now, in our guidelines is crazy. So I would say if you have a property you're not too sure, just let me know and I can get you a quick answer. But typically you're looking at anywhere from, I would say, 50 to 75% in the smaller areas, depending on how small it is, I would say.
So when you start to talk about smaller areas, can we drill down? Like, what are we talking? Because Salmon Arm, I think it's like a 15,000. Vernon's a 40,000. Kelowna is 150,000. So like, what are we talking about? The smaller.
Small areas, I would say like Salmon Arm is probably the smallest that we would lend in right now, right? I don't think we would go anything really smaller town than that, to be honest, right now. I would say Salmon Arm is probably the smallest that I've seen so far. Approved anyway.
Tony, can I ask, the 3%, is that in stone or is that negotiable?
On the Express, that's in stone. Like I say, 1.5 for us and 1.5 for you. And you can, like I say, you can buy down the rate if you wanted to, or the fee. But yeah, the 3% is pretty much, our fees are pretty much set in stone, to be honest.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So if you're talking about buying down the rate, you could do that. But what if you wanted to take a less of a broker fee? So instead of you wanting to take 1.5 from the broker, if we wanted to just take 0.5%, would it?
Yeah, for sure.
You reduce it to 2?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we would whatever you want yours set at, we can do that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Whatever you request, will. Yeah.
So it's not super stone. As long as we're willing to take the hit, you're okay.
Yeah. Ours is in stone. I'll say our lender fees in stone. Yeah. Anything else?
So Jane, I think as soon as you say click, that means it's too rural.
Sorry?
I said, Jane, as long as you start saying, here's how many clicks it is, then it's too rural.
Too
you think kilometers is good.
Yeah,
Welcome to my world.
it's not easy. Not easy, Jane. No.
Does anyone else have any other questions?
Nope.
Oh, that's good. So thank you very much, Tony. I'm not gonna distribute this slide deck, but what I'll do is I will send out your contact info afterwards. This will also be on our YouTube channel so that people can see it. And if you guys were really keen on that, you actually saw his Tony's email in the slide deck. It was actually one of the at the bottom of that last slide. There was the 5 individuals, so it was on there too. But I will send it out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, Tony.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, and have a good rest of your week.
Thanks,
Thank
Tony.
you.
All right.